Joining me now with more is Gaurav Misra, co-founder and CEO of Captions. Gaurav, thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Pretty impressive. Your company's raised $100 million, valued at $500 million. What is the special sauce that you offer in the market?
Yeah, so honestly, it's been an interesting ride for us because all we're trying to do is help anybody be able to create video. So that's everything from recording, editing, and training these foundation models, building the tools that enable people to do that has really catapulted our growth.
How would someone view this and consume this kind of content?
Yeah, a lot of this content, honestly, the adoption is mostly in the marketing, social media space, right? Like that's closest to the revenue. At the end of the day, a lot of creators use us, a lot of marketing professionals use us, a lot of salespeople use us, and that's where we're seeing like the most growth.
Yeah, I want to hear more about the opportunities in this space. We've heard about a lot of AI partnerships, in fact, just in the past few days.
Definitely. I think it's a very exciting and growing space. I think in terms of video foundation models, we're still in the early innings, really, because if you compare, these models are, they're measured in parameters. So the largest language models today are 10 times bigger than the largest video models. And so there's a lot of catching up to do. And honestly, we're going to see better and better video models, in the future.
Can you quantify the savings for the creator economy that your company provides?
I think it's exponential because, the time saved, the money saved. Imagine a world where, you don't really need, physical limitations of lights, cameras, things like that. You can just generate whatever you want, right? It gives access to a lot more people to be able to create video, share their ideas, tell stories, whatever it is that might be doing.
Your company recently acquired Alpaca ML. How does that help your company reach its goals?
Yeah, so we've actually committed to spending $100 million in New York building AI video research. And as a part of that, we've acquired Alpaca ML, which is a startup which was working on similar technology. And their CEO, William Bushwalter, is going to be joining us as leading our research engineering team here in New York. So that's pretty exciting for us as we ramp up our model training here in New York.
Mm-hmm. How do you think the industry is viewing this type of video?
So it's interesting to see. I think the adoption is slow in like more of the media and entertainment side of things, but on the other side with marketing, social media, the adoption is much faster. And I think what we'll see over time is, there's big questions on the media entertainment side around like copyright and like, training data, is it licensed and things like that. Obviously for us, we train only on licensed data. And so as more of these types of models are developed that are fully licensed, where there's not these copyright concerns, where, you've probably seen a lot of these models aren't very good at generating people, right? Like they generate sceneries and mountains and, lakes and things like that. But when it comes to people, there's like 6 fingers or 4 hands, things like that. So as these things get better, I think we'll see more and more adoption in sort of the media and entertainment side. But today we're seeing a lot of adoption in social media.
And what's the timeline for that in the media space?
I think it could be on the years, maybe.
That we would see a more sophisticated programming.
Definitely, yeah. So I would say from the 1 to 3 year time range is where we would start to see something that's essentially incomparable to like a real recording. It'd be like side by side, you wouldn't be able to tell. So it's going fast.
How big is your company?
So today we're pretty small, we're about 65 people, but we were planning to hire very aggressively this year into next.
Okay, so to that end, then I want to hear about your own expansion plans if you do have aggressive hiring goals.
Definitely, so we're hiring pretty aggressively in New York. We're looking for people with experience in building these foundation models. We're growing a team here specifically focused on video generation, but we also focus on video editing, so that's another big area for us we're expanding into.
And so what do you see as your offerings expanding here with more people on board?
I think what we're going to see is, much broader product. So not just going into marketing and sales, but even expanding beyond that. We're going to see a much broader user base. Today we're in 180 countries and growing, but we're going to see larger expansion in some of these other countries and more worldwide growth.
How competitive is it to get talent in the AI space?
It's very competitive right now. I think it's like, it's one of those rare times in history where technology is moving really fast. Things are changing very quickly. And there's only a small number of people who really have the expertise, just because it takes time for people to get up to speed to these things, right? These are brand new technologies. They've just been developed. There's nobody out there with a lot of experience in these things, right? They were just made years ago, literally, right? So finding these people, hiring these people is very competitive. I think one of our main advantages here is our focus on sort of the consumer space, focus on talking videos with people, right? And doing sort of both video generation as well as video editing. And these are exciting things for, people to work on.
I named one of Time's best inventions of the year. Gaurav, thank you so much for joining. That's Gaurav Misra. He is the co-founder and CEO of Captions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.